What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Panthers Pride Television. For those of you that don't know, we are officially at the end of the NFL regular season. We are headed into the NFL playoffs, and obviously, the Carolina Panthers are not making it this season. But I do believe that we will win the NFC South. Just a quick little hot take. I think we'll win the NFC South and eventually next year get into postseason play with Bryce Young. So there is some things that I have seen within the last several weeks. Have the Panthers finally unlocked an offensive identity? Absolutely. I mean, this past weekend, if you were not watching, it was a game. It was a legit game between the Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. Went into overtime. We had a total of 425 total yards offensively, 270 passing, 155 rushing, with 6.5 yards per play and 0 turnovers. So I think that we have found exactly what we need to do going into next season. One, we can't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over and Bryce Young continues to make every throw in the game, there's not a team in the NFC South that we can't beat. If we continue to run the football, 155 rushing yards, this might be Miles Sanders' best game as a Panther. And he was running the ball without a Chuba Hubbard, without a Jonathan Brooks. This is what we put up offensively. 155-yard rushing. Like, I really do believe that we're going to move on from Miles Sanders, but this is really something that we can hang our hat on. Getting 6.5 yards per play, finally not turning the ball over. And any time that we've not turned the ball over against the Kansas City Chiefs, against the Philadelphia Eagles, that was really the games that we have competed at our best. But this game in particular, this was peak of peak, man. I think that just moving forward, we got to continue to run the football, got to continue to make sure that Bryce Young is going to make every throw, which I believe he can. And I think that everything else will take care of itself. Dave Canales has done an excellent job calling the offense, dialing it up for the guys, and it shows. And it showed especially this week. Like, Atlanta Falcons, they were a team that were really on the cusp of getting into the postseason. They had to beat us, and they had to hope that Tampa Bay lost. And what did we do? Tampa Bay, we put you in the playoffs, man. We made sure to take care of the birds. Clawed them up in every facet, offensively, passing, rushing, and not turning the ball over. Played a clean game. Very, very clean game. And we ultimately got a win in overtime. So that's really something that we can kind of hang our hat on. But I do just want to transition a little bit. There is some things going on in Carolina that's not offensively related that are extremely bad. We can't stop anybody. We can't stop a soul. We can't stop anybody right now. I don't care if it's a JV team, a varsity team, or college Alabama with Jalen Milroe. We can't stop anybody. We are historically all-time bad. Like, what needs to change next year? One, we got to get somebody in the draft. We got to get a guy. If Travis Hunter is there, you go get him. If he's not there, you go get the D-line for Penn State. If he's not there, then you go to get the D-tackle from Michigan. But we cannot continue to have this. We can't stop anybody. This is honestly and truthfully the first time that I've looked at the Carolina Panthers and I said, who is this on defense? I don't know who this is on defense. We have never been this bad, probably outside of the very first year that Luke Kuechly retired. And we all know that was kind of unexpected, man. I mean, we knew that he had concussions, but defensively right now, J.C. Horn's hurt. These guys go off on us. Michael Penix is a rookie. He had 310 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Drake London, 10 catches, 187, 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson, 28 touches, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, this is not a winning recipe, especially defensively. As bad as we think the Cincinnati Bengals were defensively, the Carolina Panthers were worse. We gave up the most points in NFL history, 534. That's not even the bad part, though. Last week against Tampa Bay, we gave up a total of 551 total yards offensively, 349 passing, and 202 rushing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 48 total points against them. But you know what? We said we're going to one-up them. This week, we give up 537 total yards, 310 passing, and 227 on the ground. And like I just stated, we average 6.5 yards per play against the Atlanta Falcons. They average 7 yards a pop. So you're telling me every 3 plays they get 2 first downs. Like, that's not a recipe for winning. Giving up 534 total points this entire NFL season. Like, I'm surprised that we're bringing back the defensive coordinator. Like, David Tepper, from what you saw this year, what you need to do is go on your hedge fund money, open up your wallet, open up your wife's purse, pocketbook, whatever you want to do, and let's start paying some of these guys. Whoever is available, we need to go get a Justin Simmons. We need to go get one of these corners. If somebody, DJ Reed from the Jets, he's going to be available. We need to go get some inside linebacker help. Like, we're bad on the back end, but teams just can't be running for 200 yards on us, man. Like, you're not winning football games. I'm surprised that we won this football game, and it's only because of Bryce Young, who I'm going to get to in a second. But if you can't stop the run, it sets the mood for the entire game. Play action is going to kill you. Deep shots are going to kill you. You're going to get killed intermediate, short routes, dig routes, comebacks. And it's because you can't stop the run. So my very first pick, if Travis Hunter is there, which he probably won't be, you take him. If he isn't, then you got to go with one of those 2 defensive linemen. But it's going to be very, very vital that we get some guys in free agency. Because if we don't, we're going to be right back here next season at the bottom of the South when we know we should be at the top and we can compete with anybody because of who we got at quarterback. So that's just kind of just my thing just moving forward, man. Like, who are we going to be defensively? Now, Bryce, baby. Did Bryce Young prove he is the future at quarterback? Is a fat cat heavy? Bryce Young this past weekend was amazing. He literally went from unplayable to unstoppable. 251 passing yards, 24 rushing yards, 25 completions to 34 attempts, 0 interceptions, and 5 touchdowns. You count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 total touchdowns, man. 3 rushing, 2 passing. He really displayed why he was the number 1 overall selection. Now, everybody that had that same talk about him being a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell, step to the front, please. I need you to keep that same energy. That same energy that you guys had, that's what I need. I mean, just look at what Dave Canales said about him this past weekend. David Canales, when asked about Bryce Young's play the last few weeks, it's a great feeling. It helps us to think about the draft and free agency with the lens knowing we got our guy. Now, this was the same guy that was ridiculed by me and other guys saying that they're going to trade him. I didn't say that we needed to trade him. They're going to trade him because he benched him. He always had the recipe for success. Bryce Young is a guy. Bryce Young is round 1, pick 1 for a reason. Bryce Young, 5 total touchdowns for a reason. That was the Alabama kid that we saw this past weekend. And he's been displaying that within the last 10 weeks. If you really sit back and just watch the Panthers play, he really might be up in the running for comeback player of the year. I don't think that you normally get comeback player of the year from you having an injury or you got benched or traded, but he got benched during the middle of the season and he came back balling the last 10 weeks. Dare I say he was better than C.J. Stroud this season? Let's talk about it. This guy's phenomenal. So I think if we go out there in the draft, if we can get a Kyron Lacy, if we can get the receiver from Arizona, if we can get a T. Higgins, David Tepper, open up that wallet, open up your wife's pocketbook. we're going to be in prime position. Like Bryce Young, he makes this engine go. And David Tepper, I want to give you your flowers as well. A lot of people ridiculed you for saying, why would you go for a quarterback that's like a point guard? This is the reason why right there. 251 passing yards, 24 rushing yards, 0 interceptions, 0 turnovers, 5 total touchdowns. Bryce Young is going to be special for us moving forward in the future.